You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey B&B fans, it's Belynda from Soap Dirt, and today I want to talk about the 5 suspects in the murder of Tom Starr, how the cops find out it's a homicide, and who's the likely culprit in his forced overdose death. Please click subscribe if you have not already. And now let's talk about who the police are going to look at once they realize this is murder and not just a has-been rocker keeling over from some sort of druggy relapse. First off, I just have to mention that awful flashback scene of Poppy with Tom. Oh my gosh, the wig, the dye in the beard. It was not exactly cinematic magic, you know? It looked to me almost like a weird SNL skit mocking soap operas or groupies or something. And did you notice that Poppy said that she was going to take a little part of him with her? To me, that sounds like she was pregnant at that point. I think that was a little conversational red flag. And that cheesy looking segment, I suspect, was only shown to us to convey that piece of info. We already knew she was a groupie. We didn't need that awkward, weird thing that they were supposed to be decades younger. And Tom looks the same lines on his face, just bigger sunglasses and hair dye. All right. All that aside, let's talk about the 5 suspects. There's Poppy Nozawa, first off, who was furious that Tom was insisting he's Luna's dad, and I'm beginning to suspect that maybe he is, or maybe just Bill is not, but I'll talk about that in a few minutes. Poppy was upstairs with Tom Starr talking about how he needs to leave her and Luna alone and insisting that DNA test proved he's not the daddy. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. We also had Bill Spencer's former lawyer and henchman, very bad dude, Justin Barber at Il Giardino. Oh my gosh, it was so great to see him. I love Aaron D. Spears, really missed him, really missed Justin, who of course is willing to murder for Bill, like, you know, when he shoved Ridge out of that helicopter. So his presence was very suspicious. We also had Jack Finnegan, Lee's ex-husband there, Finn's daddy, and he seems not likely to have a motive to murder Tom, but he is, you know, tangentially related to Poppy, even though he and Lee divorced. I'm sure he's known Poppy for a long time, so it's very strange. The 4th suspect, of course, is Lee Finnegan herself. Her being at Il Giardino was bizarre, totally out of context. She was still in her scrubs for work, and Jack specifically mentioned she does not like live music. She doesn't look like she likes much of anything. She just seems very annoyed all the time. Lee stuck out at a sore thumb, and it seemed very strange she was there. The 5th suspect is someone who will always be a suspect in any bold whodunit murder mystery as long as she's still around, and of course that's Sheila Carter. To be fair, there is a motive with Sheila that might look bad once the LAPD starts looking into the crime and asking questions. So on to how they find out it's a crime. Finn reported to Deacon that Tom Starr died of a drug overdose. We all know it was a murder because someone with gloved hands dumped white powder into his energy drink, and within a few minutes he was dead. Thankfully, sparing us from more verses of that awful song. I don't know what was worse, the flashback or the song. It was terrible. And a lot of the music on Bold is good. I don't know what, it was just terrible. Anyway, so Finn thinks it was just an aging rock star making a bad choice and relapsing into drugs, but Deacon insisted Tom was clean. Well, next week, they find Tom's backpack, the one he carried everywhere, and something inside of it is some sort of game changer that makes it clear this was not an accidental overdose, but a murder mystery starting. So out of Sheila, Jack, Justin, Lee, and Poppy, there's a few motives, some good, some not so good. I'll talk about a few and then focus on the 2 people that I think actually conspired together to kill Tom. Sheila, of course, didn't like that Tom was trash-talking her past to Deacon, but then she chilled out and seemed very eager to see him sing and very cool with him. But someone might have seen her shaking that knife at him angrily a few days before. But she doesn't have a huge motive. Justin Barber, well, he might have been there doing Dollar Bill's dirty work, looking to get back into the billionaire's good graces after their big falling out. What was it, like 2 years ago? Maybe more. If Justin found out that Tom Starr was trying to stake a claim on Bill's daughter, Luna, I could totally see Justin taking him out without a thought, just taking out the trash as a favor to Bill. Jack Finnegan seems the least culpable of these 5 suspects, the least likely to have done it. He should have no skin in the game when it comes to Tom and Poppy, anything about Tom and Bill and Luna. Why would he care? Unless, of course, he was banging Poppy back in the day and she's blackmailing him or something. But he was a man-ho and she was out doing her free love thing, but still, I just don't see him doing this. That leads us to the sister duo of Lee and Poppy. So my brain is always cooking about soap stuff when I see stuff happening. And there's a scenario where I think they might have conspired to get Tom dead, toes up. I'm not sure the B&B writers are this creative though, but this is what I'm picturing. All right. Imagine Poppy has a secret about her sister, Lee Finnegan. Maybe Lee did something bad, something like hugely bad, killed somebody, just something super duper bad. And Poppy knows about it and has been blackmailing her sister for years. There's a whole lot of hatred between those ladies. However, I am also, and I know a lot of you guys disagree with me, I still suspect Finn might be Luna's father. And in addition to all the other Easter eggs where we saw Poppy creep in and looking at him and all the talk about around the time she got pregnant, she was living in the same house he was and he was in college, so he was an adult. So in addition to all that, there was that scene just the other day, Luna talking to RJ about how excited she is about Bill being her dad, her being adopted. She's going to be a Spencer. And she was talking to Zende. I'm sorry. She had been talking to RJ, but in this specific scene, she was talking to Zende. And Zende said something like, now you finally get to have your dad in your life. And she's smiling really big. And then as he was saying the words about your dad being in your life coming out and her smiling, they did this weird kind of overlay transition from Zende to her smiling straight to Finn. It was really weird. So whether Finn being the daddy is the big secret or it's something else, here's why I think it's a sister conspiracy. I suspect Lee might have actually rigged the paternity test to make it Bill because Poppy blackmailed her. Lee has said more than once that Poppy is a gold digger, and Tom said it too, so I'm thinking it's true. I also wonder if this secret, whether it's Finn or something else, enabled Poppy to blackmail her sister off and on over the years, ongoing blackmail for money to keep the secret because Lee just hates her so much. There's something huge there. And Bill suspecting he might be Luna's dad was the way for Poppy to get a rich man. And she may have told Lee, okay, help me land Bill by faking this paternity test and the blackmail will be over. I'll keep your secret forever. I'll never ask for anything again if you do this one thing. Remember when Poppy was doing the test, Lee busted in and said she wanted to administer the test. She's a doctor. She had a closed box. Okay, easy to fake. She could have opened the box, pre-done the samples that she knew would match literally any parent and child DNA would do, and then closed the box up and re-glued the lid. Or Poppy could have had Lee could have had samples already in her pocket and then swabbed Bill and Luna and kind of swapped the ones she tested when they weren't looking. I do not think Bill Spencer is Luna's dad. I just don't. I don't feel like it is. He might adopt her or might be stuck with her, but I just feel like, it could be Tom, it could be Jack, it could be Finn, it could be somebody else. I think Bill is getting conned by Poppy and Lee might have helped her to buy her permanent silence. Like, look, if I help you land the rich guy, so your gold digging days are done, you've achieved it, will you leave me alone? Poppy's like, yeah. Sorry, back to Tom Starr. Lee was somewhere she should not be, fresh from the hospital, looking really creepy and out of place at Il Giardino, and she's a doctor. But when he collapsed, she did not rush to help him. To me, she sticks out as a top suspect because there was no reason for her to be there, none at all. But the question is, why would Lee overdose Tom? I think if Poppy called her in a panic and said, hey, this loser from my past is threatening to ruin my life, take care of him or else. Going back on her word to leave Lee alone if she helped her convince Bill and land him. So that's it. That's my suspect, Lee Finnegan. on behalf of her sisters, Poppy's demands. Poppy did seem sad when she heard Tom die, but that could be because she knows she's at fault for it, you know? Lee might have already known about Tom from back when her sister was running around as a groupie and a druggie. One more thing Lee would hate her sister for. Remember, she calls her immoral and all this. We'll see how it goes, but the lab tech cameo the following week, the week of I think her cameo is on the 15th, could have something to do with Tom and this murder mystery. Maybe, you know, they're swabbing his bag for drugs. Maybe there's something in his bag. We'll see. It's all going to kick into high gear once that backpack is found next week. So let me know, who do you think killed Tom? Do you think there could be a sister conspiracy? Let me know. Please subscribe if you haven't. Definitely drop your comments and come back. We are here talking Bold and Beautiful 7 days a week with me, Belynda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.